So this morning I was checking my YouTube notifications and my comments for my videos, and I noticed a comment from a member of the Telegram chat and a subscriber of the channel. His name's Ricky Romero, and he's been very engaging on the channel, and he's been talking a lot, been engaging, asking me a lot of questions, which I appreciate. He's asking me why Sonic has been lagging behind the rest of the market, and I want to talk about that today, okay? And if you feel impatient because your coin is lagging behind compared to the rest of the market, then hopefully this video and the advice that I give will reset your mindset and hopefully avoid you panic selling, okay? So we're going to talk about exactly what this means, why it's happening, and what you should do about it. But before I do, I want to let you guys know that nothing in this video is financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not your financial counselor. What you decide to do with your money is up to you, and you need to take responsibility for your buys and your sells. Okay, so for those of you guys who don't know, about a week ago, I made a video about what altcoin is still cheap in the middle of the bull market. For those of you guys who have been paying attention, you guys know that the rest of the crypto market has been rallying. A lot of the crypto market is rallying. It's starting to become double, triple the cost of what the coins were just a little bit ago, a few months ago. It was, they're already double, triple from what they were. Some of these coins are, but I made a video about what altcoin is still cheap relative to where it could go. And that the video was made about Sonic. I talked about, and for those of you guys who haven't watched that video, I recommend you do go to my channel and watch this, what altcoin is still cheap for the bull market in 2025, okay? And I talked about a lot of different things. I talked a lot about why I'm bullish on Sonic, why I think it's undervalued compared to where it is, and why this recent dip and this recent sell-off of the S coin is an opportunity for people to possibly value invest and get some good gains over a period of time, okay? So for those, so I'll make it very simple. Basically, Sonic's biggest market maker, Wintermute, had a breakup with the Sonic Labs. It caused them to sell a lot of Sonic coins on the margin, causing the price to go down. The fundamentals didn't change. I explained why Sonic is a bullish network, and I think it's an opportunity compared to the rest of the market. Okay, and I'm starting to get comments from not only Ricky, but a few people in the comments talking about, well, why hasn't it pumped? It's been lagging, and talking about this. And I want to talk about this, guys. All right. It sounds like a lot of you guys are getting impatient with your coins and your positions in the crypto market. You're getting impatient. Okay. Now I'm going to explain, I'm going to break down in my opinion of why this happens. Okay. Why this happens. Why do a lot of crypto investors, especially people who haven't been through a full bull market, why are they getting impatient, and why are they considering selling their coins and moving on to another one? Okay. The reason why is because there's a few reasons, but the main reason is because they're comparing their altcoin to other tokens in the market that are already pumping, right? So if you have a token that isn't doing a whole lot, it's kind of stagnant, maybe you're even down a little bit on the investment, and you see all these other coins, like some of the other coins that I was talking about on my channel, such as Pengu, it's up 300% in a month. And, you make those gains, and you're wondering why your token isn't doing that. You're comparing the coin that you bought, or one of the coins that you bought, to another coin that is trending currently in the crypto market, and it's already pumping. And I know what you're thinking. What you're thinking is you want to consolidate the coin that hasn't pumped yet, and you want to move it to the coin that did pump already because of FOMO, what's called a fear of missing out. So when a coin is going green, everybody always thinks that when a coin is increasing in price and it's going up on the chart, everybody thinks that that's going to continue. And when a coin is going down, or if it's stagnant or it's choppy, everybody thinks that that's going to continue as well. So what a lot of new investors think is they experience what's called FOMO, fear of missing out. So you fear missing out on the gains. You fear that you're going to hold this coin that hasn't done anything yet, and you're going to move that money into something that's already pumped, right? And this is why a lot of investors don't make money. And this is why a lot of investors end up getting chopped up in the market very easily, because they're impatient. Okay, they're impatient and they don't let their positions fully harvest, and they don't let things happen. Right? They don't let things happen. So I think in this situation, there's probably some blockchains that you're looking at. You're probably looking at Sui, which I also talked about. You're looking at Ethereum. You're looking at other things that are pumping more than Sonic is. And you're considering moving your coins because you're afraid that Sonic will just never wake up. Okay. And like I said before, this impatience that people get is due to a lack of experience for the most part. Now, a lot of you guys, I know a lot of you guys are new into crypto. A lot of you guys have not experienced the full bull market yet, but it's completely normal for you guys to feel this way in the crypto market, especially if you're a new investor and you're not familiar with how emotions work in the crypto market. This is not anything crazy, okay? But the thing that you guys have to realize is that, Bitcoin, before it rallied to 125,000, had this same situation, right? Bitcoin consolidated for a really long time and nobody thought that it was going to go back up. Multiple times in the bear market of 2022. Everybody thought that Bitcoin was going to 6K, 10K, and then it just rocketed up, due to the ETFs. Solana, everybody thought that Solana was dead and it was never coming back when it was at $7. And now it's, hovering around $200, but it's $170, $180, comfortably sitting. Right? That's a lot of returns if you bought it when nobody thought that it was going up. If it was easy to buy things that were down by a lot, everybody would be a deca millionaire from crypto, right? But the truth is that it's not, right? So, you guys have to keep in mind that all these coins had deep consolidation periods as well, for the most part, at some point before it started rallying up, right? There was always a point where Bitcoin, when everybody thought that it was over and it wasn't going back up, it was never going to hit $100,000, and it did, right? So Sonic is in the same period of time right now where it's in a consolidation. A consolidation is where there's an asset sell-off and people are taking out into the coin, selling off their coins, and then, it's on its way. It basically did a big way down from $1.40, I believe Phantom was when Sonic first launched, right? So but the thing that's important for you guys to know is that some coins bloom later in the bull market. Later on, some coins bloom and get a big wave of momentum later on. And the people who get shaken out and the people who are impatient never see those gains because they're chasing the trending thing, right? Like Sui or like Bonk or one of these coins that have big green candles. But you guys have to realize that if you did that with all the other assets in crypto, you would have gotten chopped up, because there's always something that is pumping harder than the thing that you have. And there's always something that you could go chase. And then by the time that you get into that coin, the gains, the big gains are already made. And then you either end up losing money because you're not positioned well, or you just don't make the gains that you want, right? Or you just don't make the gains that you're looking for. And then if you would have just held Sonic, and then maybe later on the coin that you had starts rocketing up, but you bought the lows, so you were better positioned in that asset and you made a lot more money if you were just patient and didn't do anything, right? So, like I said, Sonic is in a period of consolidation. It's in a period of consolidation, and that means that as long as the fundamentals haven't changed, it's an accumulation. So it's still a coin that you can accumulate during the bull market when everything else is relatively expensive to where you bought it. All right. If you bought Ethereum at $1,200, $1,500, $2,000, whatever the case may be, under $3,000 even, you're in pretty good profit from that. If you bought Sui around $2, $2.50, like I was saying before, if you bought Pudgy Penguins under a penny, if you bought Dogecoin under 20 cents, if you bought all these other assets below Ondo under $1, I could keep going on and on and on. But the point is that if you did that, then you were in good profit. Now Sonic just simply hasn't hit that yet. So you could still accumulate that, whereas all these other things are a little bit more expensive. They're a little bit past our accumulation ranges. Sonic or Solana, I believe, was around $130, $120 when I was making videos about the ETFs and that they were going to come out, right? So Sonic just hasn't hit a narrative yet. It hasn't hit that wave of the price accumulation. So what do, right? What do you do when this happens? Well, the thing that you guys have to realize is that smart money, if you guys want to be smart money in crypto, we don't, smart money does not chase pumps. We don't chase pumps. You want to position early. You want to position early into assets. You want to position early into investments. So if you do research on Sonic and you know that Sonic is leveling up, it's making good changes, it's not going away, then you invest early and you get positioned early. And I'm telling you right now, a 30-cent Sonic, 35-cent Sonic, 40-cent Sonic, anything under 50-cent Sonic is a great, you're positioning yourself very early for when it does bloom eventually. If you believe that it is going to bloom based on your research and the conviction that you have, right? Then, you'll end up making those returns that everybody talks about. But it's not as easy as everybody thinks. If you're always going to be chasing the next pump and the pump that follows, and you're always looking for the short term, if you're always chasing the short term gains, you're never going to get those gains where it's like, wow, we bought this at this price. You're going to be one of those stories where you say, wow, you bought it at this price? That's crazy, right? That's crazy. Like it's at Sonic's at $5 now. You bought it at 30 cents. Wow. You're never going to get that story if you're always chasing the green pump. You're always hopping on trends. You're always hopping on what everybody else is talking about and what everybody else is doing. You're never going to make that. You're never going to make those outsized returns, right? Smart money doesn't do that. Smart money positions early when nobody's talking about it, and then they end up making outsized returns. And the people who chase the green pumps and chase what everybody's, what everybody in the market, everybody on crypto Twitter is talking about, they get chopped up most of the time and they don't make the gains that they want because they don't have patience, right? They're not able to stay logical. They don't have patience in their investments, okay? And that's what conviction is. Conviction is holding when it's boring, when it's choppy, when not everybody's talking about your coin, when everybody is looking at the next shiny object over in the crypto market. That's conviction. Conviction is holding when it's boring. And this is exactly why I say that making money in crypto is harder than it looks. It's not that it's not that it's physically difficult. It doesn't require an insane amount of effort, but the amount of psychological games that's played usually to earn those outsized returns is not as easy as everybody thinks it is, right? So what I recommend you do, Ricky, is I recommend you do what I said in the Sonic video, and you revisit the fundamentals. You revisit the fundamentals. Why did you buy it, right? What is the project? What makes the project unique? What makes it undervalued to where you bought the asset, okay? I explained why I thought in my video, but I recommend you go and revisit the fundamentals of Sonic, okay? If nothing's changed from your thesis, so if Sonic is still a good buy, if Sonic is still a good fundamental project for you, then I don't see why you don't accumulate more Sonic, right? I don't see why you don't accumulate more Sonic. Not financial advice, but if you have a thesis on an asset and it hasn't changed, and the only thing that's changed is the price drop from the market maker selling off S coins, and people also selling a little bit more, and then because of the fact that it's so red, it lost some momentum, so now it's just in a consolidation period down here. I don't see why you don't accumulate more if you have conviction in the asset, and if you don't have conviction in the asset, I recommend you do your own research and do what I said. Follow the fundamentals, revisit the fundamentals, think about why you bought it, and think unless the fundamentals changed, then I think you even double down, or you just hold your position. If you don't want to buy anymore, just hold your position. And now if the fundamentals did change, if the reason why you bought it, if the variables for that did change, then that's a different story, and stuff like that. This is the difference between an investor and a trader. Okay, an investor, or what a trader does is he chases pumps, and an emotional trader, he will chase pumps and he'll sell lows, and he'll end up getting chopped up. If you sell your Sonic right now and you buy SUI, and you don't, you know, let's say you buy SUI or you buy something else that other people are talking about, you buy a meme coin that people are talking about, whatever the case may be, and you lose your money, now you just got chopped up, and then Sonic rallies after that, and then you're like, wow, I should have just held my Sonic and not did anything, right? I should have just held my Sonic, I should have just stuck with the research. All right, so that's what an emotional trader does. An emotional trader is always switching his thesis, always switching his position. He always he's getting chopped up. What an investor does is he does his own research, he builds conviction, and he creates a thesis, and he waits for the thesis to play out. Okay, I'm sitting on Sonic right now. It's at 30 cents. I'm not worried about it at all. Why? Because I've done research. I have my own conviction. I've been studying the crypto market for a long time. I know what coins do well. I know what makes coins do well and what makes coins not do well. And I think Sonic's thesis is strong, right? Is it going to outperform everything in the crypto market? Probably not, right? But it's still going to, I think, to the best of my ability, I think it's a good discount. So I'm gonna keep doubling down, and I'm gonna keep accumulating, right? And maybe not to the same degree that I have already, because I've been accumulating Sonic for a very long time, but that's what you should do. You should revisit it for yourself, okay? At the end of the day, I'm not your financial advisor, but you know, I recommend that you revisit the fundamentals and make the decision for yourself, but be very, very cautious selling something when it's this sold off. This is how a lot of people get chopped up and end up selling lows, right? I mean, so just be careful, brother. I hope you're okay. I hope the you know, the research that you've done is I hope you revisit this and you consider some of this stuff, okay? So just remember that a lot of people who make all this money in crypto, people who bought Ethereum at $1, $2, Bitcoin, people who bought Bitcoin at below $100, below $1,000, these guys held when things were boring and things weren't, maybe there was other stuff in the stock market or other things that were booming and ballooning up, and people got bored with Bitcoin, and I'm sure a lot of people did sell their positions. But I'm pretty sure also that those people regret that decision very much if they sold that Bitcoin that cheap, okay? So something to think about. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this concept, and let me know what you think, Ricky. If you want to, and you already know, if you need to, you know, get on a coaching call, you know what to do. You know the details for that, and I hope that you consider the things in this video. Okay, so if you guys want, I hope you guys like the video. If you guys do, click like on the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and Instagram Chase Your Grace, link in the description. TikTok Chase Your Grace, link in the description. All right, nothing in this video is financial advice. You have to make decisions for yourself, but I really don't want to see you get chopped up in the market and get absolutely destroyed by people, or not destroyed by people, but destroyed in the market, okay? So thank you guys. Hope you guys have a good day, and bless up.